Welcome back to Live Now from Fox, and we have some breaking news as President Joe Biden has just announced that he is dropping out of the 2024 presidential race. This happening just moments ago. You are taking a look at the letter that he has just issued, and we are going to read it in its entirety. It says, "My fellow Americans, over the past 3.5 years, we have made great progress as a nation. Today, America has the strongest economy in the world. We've made historic investments in rebuilding our nation, in lowering prescription drug costs for seniors, and in expanding we provided critically needed care to 1 million veterans exposed to toxic substances.
You believe it?
The Supreme Court and passed the most significant climate legislation in the history of the world. America is positioned to lead than we are today." It goes on to say, quote, "I know none of this could have been done without you, the American people. Together, we overcame a once-in-a-century pandemic and the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. We've protected and preserved our democracy, and we've revitalized and strengthened our alliances around the world. It has been the greatest honor of my life to serve as your president. And while it had been my intention to seek re-election, I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and to focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term. I will speak to the nation later this week in more detail about my decision. For now, let me express my deepest gratitude to all those who have worked so hard to see me re-elected. I want to thank Vice President Kamala Harris for being an extraordinary partner in all this work, and let me express my heartfelt appreciation to the American people for the faith and trust you have placed in me. I believe today what I have always, that there is nothing America can't do when we do it together. We just have to remember we are the United States of America." The letter signed Joe Biden.
Let's go, Brandon! Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem, Rakakadash. Double honors the elders and apostles, the great millstone, who are teaching this truth and sincerity. And a shout out to Yakim out there on the four quarters of the earth proclaiming this truth. Raka the Yahweh, Raka the Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem, Rakakadash, Rakatam. Well, at least I didn't forget to laugh. I mean, it is a killing joke. But make no mistake about it, we definitely know who's sworn in. Now, this reminds me of a song by Barry McGuire that was recorded years ago in the 70s, and it was a pretty popular hit. And the song was called Eve of Destruction. Now, keep that in mind. Eve, representing Kamala Harris, right? Eve, you know, being that destruction, right? Because Babylon the Great, you know, being daughter Babylon, another name, right? So why not with Madame President, you know? Yeah, you know, it does look like it's definitely, she would be the one to lead it down, straight down there, right? Because isn't it the serpent that tempted Eve to begin with? And everybody falls for Eve, right? And why not? They fell for Obama. Well, this one's even more powerful than Barack Obama was, right? Even Michelle Obama is behind Kamala Harris. Biden's legacy as genocide. Reactions pour in as president quits race. Rights group and social media frequenters react to President Biden's decision to cancel his re-election bid, saying he will be remembered by how he facilitated the Israeli state's ongoing war of genocide against the Palestinians. The reactions began pouring in on Monday, immediately after Biden announced in a letter on social media that he was stepping aside as a candidate for the 2024 election. So, like everything else, though, we know that they have in who they want to. Now, another brother's broken it down. That'll be on the longer version of this, but I'm just keeping it simple here on YouTube, while I can still put videos on YouTube, right? You know, I don't want any reason, give the devil any reason to take down my videos. Democrats go full throttle on Kamala after Biden drops out of the 2024 race. And just like that, the Democratic Party has gone all in for Kamala Harris, who did so poorly in the 2020 election that she dropped out before the primaries, just hours after Biden's campaign manager insisted he wasn't leaving the race. So like everything else though, here's some of the rhetoric, right? It's always good to see some of the shit, right? Because I guess it's from Fuck the Nation. You know, another shit show that they show on so-called
before you
mainstream media.
Two allies of Joe Biden who have now changed their position. And we now look at the tally of roughly 40 lawmakers who have called for Joe Biden to step aside. Clearly, leadership is setting up a permission structure for lawmakers to come out and say these things. Has Joe Biden lost control of the Democratic Party?
No, he's not. And he's heard those concerns, and I want to be
so like
clear.
everything else though, the stage is set. It was set for her to come in. Now, there's been prediction. Now, Kennedy, of course, and he was running as a Democrat before he ended up on the independent, but hey man, it's all true what he's saying. Kennedy accuses the Democrats of rigging the nomination. Endorsing the momentarily unpopular Harris is the easiest way to secure the war chest, Robert Kennedy claimed. Independent candidate Robert Kennedy accused the Democratic Party of anointing a candidate handpicked by the elites and urged them to return to an open process of selecting a nominee for the upcoming November elections, while also claiming that only he could beat former President Donald Trump. You know, and like everything else though, well, hey, yeah, it was more than obvious that Biden was going to step down, you know, but hey, it doesn't matter anyways. This was all pre-planned. It's in the cards. Israeli state murders 45 Palestinians as Gaza death toll surpasses 39,000. Hey, this is what's happened over the weekend while you had all that shit going on Ice Cream Day. Get your fucking ice cream, man. The Israeli state launched new deadly strikes on Khan Yunis minutes after it ordered residents to evacuate east of the southern Gaza city. Official spokesman of Nasser Hospital in Khan Yunis said on Monday that at least 45 people were killed in the Israeli air raids and artillery shelling in Khan Yunis eastern neighborhoods, which were designated as a humanitarian safe zone. That thing's safe in fucking Gaza, man. You know? Hey, scores of Palestinians killed, wounded in an Israeli attack. Hey, these Israelis, these gutter rats, they'll stop at nothing. And don't think that Babylon the Great won't soon look like Gaza. Hezbollah pummels Israeli military sites with rockets, kamikaze drones. Fighters from Lebanese Hezbollah resistance movement conducted a series of operations against Israeli military positions at the northern part of the 1948 occupied territory. See, they call it occupied Palestine, you know, because they know that those are not the original Israelites as well. Of course, because they had everything to do with enslaving the real Israelites. Territories in response to the brutal aggression on Gaza in retaliation for assaults on southern Lebanese regions. Hezbollah said in a brief statement that its members launched a salvo of rockets at the Israeli Ramah military outpost in the occupied Kafar Shabu Hills, hitting the designated targets precisely. The resistance group also targeted the Al Somga site with a barrage of rockets and Zeret barracks with artillery shells. So, like everything else though, it spilled over to quite a few wars going on. And like everything else though, King Bibi is getting ready to come on over, but there's many detesting his visit. And look at who it is. At least the flock are the ones that are really detesting his visit over here to the United States. Yeah, they detest him. Now, I can't read that, but they definitely detest him. Hey, they know. They know that only evil minds plot destruction, right? Wait a minute, isn't that a song? Yeah, I think it was called War Pigs, yeah. Evil minds that plot destruction. Well, Babylon the Great will be brought to its destruction, and hey, with Eve coming in, man, you know, it's just going to be brought to its knees a lot sooner. So this is great, man. Who better? Who better to lead Babylon the Great to destruction? See, it was never meant to be great again. You know, hey, Donald J. Trump, he brought everybody a false hope between 2016 to 2020, right? He brought them all false hope, because what did he do? He started lockdowns in 2020 with the greatest hoax there ever was. You know, everybody had to lock down. He shut down everything. Schools, businesses, mom and pop stores. You think that he gave a goddamn about the poor? Do you ever hear him talking about the poor? No, they're only for the rich. He always was that way, by the way, if you know anything about him. He was never for the poor or the working class, even though he claims a lot of it, right? And like everything else, though, these people fell for him as hook, line, and sinker, because he was that charismatic leader. But, you know, hey, Eve's in town now, and she's going to bring Babylon to its knees. You know, so howl for her, take bombs for her, right? You know, for she have lived so deliciously, right? Now that is somewhere in Revelation 17, maybe, or is it 18? Well, we'll take a look anyways. Why not? Why not? Because we know Babylon the Great, you know, is about to be destroyed. Well, you may as well just go ahead and say it, though, because we know who Babylon the Great is, and who better than Eve to destroy it, right? Revelation chapter 17, verse 4. The woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. Hey, that's America to its T, right? Upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. Now saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints, and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushua. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. Meaning that, man, I can't, you know, is this it? You know? You know, so I believe it's Revelation 18 where it says, howl for her, take bomb for her. Maybe it is, or is that in Jeremiah? Either way, though, Babylon the Great is about to be destroyed, you know, and that's the good news, right? Revelation chapter 18, verse 3, or verse 2, we'll just do that. And it cried with a mighty voice and strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. And this is going to happen as the destruction comes. And remember, the key song is Eve of Destruction, man. You know, what better way, man? You know, this is exciting. For all nations have drunken the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and all the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth were waxed rich, the abundance of her delicacies. So, hey, Yahushua is calling his people back, man, you know, those that will repent. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of her sins, and that you receive not of her plagues. That is that nuclear destruction that's coming. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh hath remembered her iniquities. So like everything else, though, these people that were living rich and just were having joy while you were in slavery and just, you know, living so deliciously, you know, having the plantations and living on top, enjoying songs and just having a good old time while you were suffering, is about to be destroyed. How much she had glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her, you know, aka Esau Edom, the Edomites. For she saith in her hearts, I sit as a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. See, they don't think there's ever going to be any recompense. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she will be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord Yahweh, who judgeth her. You know, this is a great time to be in. But like everything else, though, things are going to tighten up. Watch this Eve bring this place to destruction. But also get ready, because some more draconian laws are coming, man. The MOTB will be made mandatory not too long from now. This is still the hopeful year of Jacob's troubles, so hopefully this has been edifying. And like everything else, the longer version will have the extra video attached to it. But I don't want to say Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahushua, Ba'Shem Rakakadash, Wa Abab Babal. Brakathum, Jehovah Lek, Shalom.